Actually, people are stupid, and that's why that little recording thing is really helpful, although I hate that woman. I am here with Lisa Phillips, who is a PI for her business, Pink Lady Investigations. Lisa, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I am so excited. We started talking, and then I was just like, pause. I'm just going to press play because I said to you, as I said, oh my gosh, is there anything that's off limits? And your response was pretty funny. You want to summarize what you said? Like, it doesn't have to be all the dirty shit, just the part where like nothing ever leaves the internet, but whatever you want. So I'm flexible.
I think I said something like, I make TikToks about other people's lives. I talk about other people's lives. I have a business. I can be Googled. You can find out I've had several ex-husbands and my kids in jail. I mean,
how many ex-husbands have you had, out of curiosity?
3, but in my defense, 2 were alcoholics.
Okay, so I will say that in my family, that tends to be like the average number of divorces. So I'm not scared away. And regarding having a child that's in jail, my aunt has been in jail since 2013, and we basically, my husband and I, we've a 10 and almost 13-year-old. And we just kept lying to them. And the deal was like, we'll tell them when they figure it out. Because she's in federal, so you can she's actually getting out soon, but fingers crossed. But she's in federal, so you can do like Zoom sessions, or FaceTime, whatever they are. But she's always wearing the same article of clothing.
People will catch on, even children.
Actually, it was my almost 11-year-old, who I think was 8 at the time, who was like, I don't understand. You mean, Aunt Karen worked through her mom's funeral? I was like, yeah, okay, that's time. Like, you bought look at that building. Do you see Aunt Karen waving to us? She's working on Thanksgiving Day while we were like waving to, it was a lot. And like, and they, and then at the end of the explanation, I was like, do you guys have any questions? And this was like really traumatic for me. And my son goes, so Aunt Karen's our real aunt? I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Because like my best friend, some of my best friends and his godmother, we just, we started calling aunt. And so like, right. So like, that's what the 12-year-old took away from me.
That was the takeaway. That is awesome.
Yeah. So, but I didn't know about California. I know that in Florida, part of the reason you can play the Florida man game is because mugshots are all public. So,
in California, I mean, well, where she was arrested in her county, they have a Facebook page where they put all the mugshots on. And let me just say, my kid, she's 20. She is one of the best humans, funniest, smartest, but she has a drug addiction that just kicked her ass.
Yeah.
But yeah, and she was actually on the run for 2 months. It was funny
from you or from cops?
No, from the cops. She's been in and out for 4 or 5 years. And she's only 20.
Yeah, it's so. Listen, my mother is going on like a bazillion years and many humorous suicide attempts that failed, and it's impossible if the person doesn't want to change, and certainly a 20-year-old doesn't necessarily have that. I don't know, the resources, despite her heart and intellect, or maybe she does, and I'm totally wrong. But
she's at 20. I mean, I thought I was invincible. She's just still at that invincible, nothing bad's ever going to happen to me. But she has such a good sense of humor, and we laugh. I went and did a visit with her at the jail, and everyone is, at the booth on the phone, and they're having these serious conversations. Me and her were laughing so hard, we were crying. Like, they must think like we are the worst people ever, but we'll find humor in any situation.
Clearly,
it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. How long is she there for?
Well, so I don't understand the math that California courts use.
You're not supposed to. It's code.
I think they just, and I work in the courts a lot. And I'm
Yeah.
even like, that doesn't quite add up. She was sentenced to 240 days and she's doing less than half.
So normally it's
Half time.
2/3, I feel, but
In
okay.
California, it's halftime, but she didn't even get that. And I'm like, maybe it's just COVID. So they're like, look, she's not out robbing banks. Like, she's not a danger. Just set her free. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, I mean that's how I felt about my aunt. She was 60 when she was arrested in 2003. It was right after her 60th birthday, and I honestly, she's just not savvy enough to pull off what she was accused of doing. Like, it's a complicated crime, and so and so she it was Medicare fraud, and when I actually discovered the power of the computer for searching things, and yes, I do subscribe to Intellius and MyHeritage and newspapers.com, which is actually much better, because Intellius often will come up with people murderers and they're like, nope, clean sheet, clean record.
Yeah, those are dangerous
I know, and I definitely want to talk about that. But when I did have the power of the computer in front of me and I Googled my grandfather, I found out that, just out of curiosity, that he was actually the first person ever indicted in the United States for Medicare fraud. And I was like, fucking idiot. This is why you're in jail. It's like 40 years later, they were like, we got to get someone from this family. So, yeah, it was a lot, but these things are a lot, but you have a great attitude and it's great that you can visit her and it's great that she'll get out soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
And she's more than welcome to come home, but she doesn't want to, because as mom, even though she's 20, I have rules. And at 20, you don't listen to rules. So that's okay. She can go do her. I'm here for her regardless.
Are you going to, is there like an out treatment program plan?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. They literally she'll walk out the door of the jail and a friend will probably pick her up if I don't. And then she'll just do her thing.
Well, hopefully it never comes to this, but one of the people that I interviewed recently, his name is Evan Jarshower, and fingers crossed you were never a Kardashians fan, but he did appear on Kardashians as like an interventionist. I believe it was for a shopping addiction, but he's very good at like navigating people into therapy. And bizarrely, he was kidnapped as a kid. So there's a whole bunch of stuff there. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But so I've been able to interview and connect with a bunch of interesting people. And you fascinated me because so I have been listening to true crime podcasts for years, largely because I'm a fat ass and I don't like exercise, but I do like podcasts. And so I will listen to podcasts as a way to encourage myself to exercise. And then a friend of mine suggested we start a Long Island podcast because there's a lot of bad shit that goes on here and we all think we're just like spoiled white Jews. So that's Long Island for you. And once we did and I started looking into it, I found this case that I sort of fell, I want to say in love with, but it's not even, it's like an obsession. It's like, what the fuck happened to this? And why was it never solved?
Right.
And so I decided that at least for this season, like I want to find out more about this stuff. And when you and I connected and I was like, oh my God, you have so many interesting things and so many interesting similarities. And I'm like a dumbass trying to fill out like FOIA/FOIL requests to no avail, despite the fact that I know 80 lawyers and am married to one. But I was just fascinated because I sort of wondered, like, how did you get into this work? Like for me, it's literally this one case that sucked me into everything else. And I obviously have deep plans to like storm the Capitol, but not actually the Capitol, but like storming like the small town that I live in's police department and taking the fucking file, and that's how I started doing all these like deep dives. And it's really gross and fascinating. Gross because a lot of bad shit happens and we just sort of brush it over.
Right.
but you have the side of it that I don't know. I don't think a lot about that. Like I've reached out to lawyers. I've reached out to, I'm fucking insane. The problem is this is like 85. And so a lot of these people are dead, but you have this fascinating job. And I wonder, like, I'm very curious how you got into it. Was it one of the alcoholic husbands? Was it something else? Was it
Oh
just
my God.
like,
It was, you're right.
yes,
So
I'm a shrink also, remember that. So
oh
I have
my God,
psychic
that's
abilities,
right. Oh no. So my second alcoholic
yes,
husband, he cheated on me the entire time. He was not even a bad husband. He was a bad father, just a bad human being. And it took me 8 years to leave him because every day he told me what a piece of shit I was, to the point where I believed it. And then I realized it wasn't me, it was him. So I grabbed the kids. I have 2 other ones aside from the jailbird.
Okay, so you have 3 total. Is one
3.
a boy?
No.
Okay,
I got 3.
you said, okay, I just listened to your, like, we're going to Vegas with my 2 months rent thing. And so my assumption was you had 2 girls, but you have 3 girls.
3, yeah. So my oldest is from my first ex-husband, and then the 2 younger ones are from my second ex-husband.
I have literally no judgment. I think if you're gonna get remarried, you kind of have to. Like, you don't have to, but like, it evens things out. I don't know. Don't listen to me. It's been a long day. But my point is, I'm really not judging. I'm fascinated.
And then the third ex-husband happened because when I left the abusive second ex-husband, he broke me so bad that when guy number 3, who we're still friends,
not anymore, not after this book. I'm just kidding.
No, the third ex-husband, when we met and like he liked me, I was like, oh, someone likes me? Like, I'm not a piece of shit. Well, I need to like marry him immediately. And he had kids and I had kids. So we got married. And then a couple years ago, we kind of realized like, so like maybe just be friends.
Okay, so are you friends?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. It's funny. People that grow up being told their shit sometimes think the same thing in adulthood. Not saying that about you. Just saying that, yeah.
Just let me throw this out there. My dad was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Put that together anyway. You feel it's right.
I was going to go there and I figured I'd approach it subtly. My mom was as well. And recently one of my best friends who I haven't seen because of COVID came over for we did a barbecue, and then she later texted me and she was like, I love you. It was so great seeing you, but I think I like you better sober. And my initial response was to be like, yeah, I don't. And that's the problem with alcoholics. Like, I can recognize the traits in myself, which is not to say that I'm in a black or white area, but I was like, yeah, I don't. And alcoholics don't like themselves, and that's why we drink. Okay, I guess I do think I'm an alcoholic, but that's why we drink, and that's also why I don't berate others. I just berate myself. But nonetheless, like, there's usually a pattern, and so I appreciate your openness. But it sounds like third guy wasn't so bad.
No, he's a nice guy. We me and him yesterday, we had a conversation about like his current girlfriend. Funniest shit ever. Like,
that's great.
Yeah. No, so I went to Vegas last week and it was with my first ex-husband. So I'm still close, aside from the second one, who my girls actually call sperm donor because he's not in their lives.
Yeah.
I get along with 2 out of 3 of my ex-husbands.
I am not the PI here, but I would say just don't fuck any of them. Maybe. And I mean, but I'm not judging.
Oh no, totally would never ever happen.
Oh, thank God. Because, the kids have a phrase, catch feelings. And like, I wish I had it when I was in college, because, that whole friends with benefit things was not, no. That was just basically it was like catching COVID, like catching feelings. So
right.
Absolutely. So tell me, because I interrupted you as I always do, but like, so no, it's okay. This is a rolling streaming, not literally streaming, but this is a rolling podcast. By the way, how old are your kids?
13, 15, and 20.
So I have a almost 13, it'll be 13 in October, and an 11-year-old. And today I saw patients from like 8:30 on. And so I had like a 30-minute break before you, shoved food in my mouth, recorded a shitty TikTok, and then tried to watch as many of your TikToks as possible, and then sat down for this. But I'm sitting there and I was doing a FaceTime session with a patient who prefers that versus Zoom. And all of a sudden I get an alert on my phone that my son's handle, like his TikTok handle, has posted a new video. And I pull up his schedule and I'm like, well, that fucker is supposed to be in earth science, So I did record a video and tagged him in it, but he hasn't seen it yet. But it's just me being like, when your kid doesn't realize that your mom follows you on TikTok, So basically,
No, my girls have me blocked.
Oh, my kids aren't allowed to do that. No. Your kids are much smarter than mine. Mine couldn't figure that out.
Well, the thing is, I mean, because I went through that, like, okay, I want, your Snapchat, I want to know, your accounts and your passwords. But all they're going to do is either delete the app. So I'm
or
like,
do
oh,
a
you don't
fake
have
one.
Snapchat?
Right.
Yeah, they probably have 4 or 5 Snapchats because they like to have fake ones to like mess with other people.
Yeah, no. Trust me. I see teenagers. I know about the Finstagram. Sorry, it took me a minute. The fake Instagram and all that stuff. And like Snapchat, I'm too old for, so I can't get my head around that. But yes, but I just thought it was awesome to be like, asshole, there's only 4 people that follow me or that I follow because I'm brand new to it and you're one of them, So I do want to hear the PI thing because I kind of want your job after watching your TikTok, which is it's at Lisa McSassy.
Yes, I think it's Lisa McSassy PI.
Thank you. It is. It's Lisa McSassy PI. I had a struggle bus time with that because I kept looking at Pink Lady investigations, but it both come up, but just not on my phone when I want it to, when I'm stressing. So
right. Okay.
That's a rule. So tell me, you have a type, obviously. You should not be dating that type.
Not anymore. I have outgrown that, I believe.
But I thought you were not dating anymore and we're just going to die and let your cats eat you, which I support.
What, I'm kind of on the fence.
Okay. I mean, I don't know that I love the getting eaten by cats idea. It depends on the cat. But
if I'm dead, it doesn't matter, right? Like,
I don't have the answer to that. I'm a psychologist, not a psychic, but but I do understand how nice it must be to be free. So
I mean, I have a male in my life that I am madly in love with. So we'll see. Because it's gone so well throughout the history of my life. Why not step in that again?
You're not going to get any judgment on me. So I'm happy you're happy. And I find you adorable and engaging and intelligent on the 8 TikToks I managed to view in the 20 minutes, and also in person. And so I'm glad you will not be dying alone.
I mean, the jury's still out on that whole situation I'm in, but
whatever. I mean, but if you do decide to go on a dating app, can you send your shit to me so I can tell you what's wrong with it first?
What I would, if I was on a dating app, no one would respond because if I put on a private investigator, everyone would be like, oh, hell no. And they wouldn't even swipe right or left or up or down. I don't know how it works.
I don't remember the difference, but I could call my kid in. But I mean, let's be honest, like any asshole who's posting 8 pictures of themselves with like the cat ear thing, or standing in front, if you're a guy standing in front of a car, like a hot car that's not yours, they're not going to be smart enough to think of that. And they're not going to know what a PI is.
That's true. I don't want to date someone that doesn't know what a PI is, though.
I don't either. I don't really want to date anyone anyway. I don't even want to date myself. I just want to research murders. Yeah. So PI, it's better be a good story because I've delayed it inevitably.
Oh, why am I PI?
No, like how?
So basically my ex-husband number 2 was a total piece of shit. I had insurance job. And every day I logged into my computer for my insurance job, I wanted to slam my face into the computer screen.
I'm
Because
glad you didn't, because
it was horrible. And so I kind of was, going through my life, like, what do I want? My kids are still young. And, like my kids had a play and they're like, well, you can't take time off. And I was like, the fuck I can't. It's my kids play. Like, this insurance shit's not for me. So I wanted to do something where I helped people. So I created Pink Lady Investigations, and I was not supposed to be a private investigator. I just wanted to help people. I went through a horrible custody battle too. And I wanted to help people. Word got out with other PIs. They were pissed off, saying I was a PI without being licensed. And it was like this whole thing, which helped me.
Yeah.
Because a PI from San Diego called me. He was like, hey, so there's rumors going around that you're a PI, but you're not licensed. I was like, I'm not a PI. Like, I just want to help people. And so he helped me get licensed. I was licensed that year.
And you didn't marry him.
And I did.
I'm just teasing. I'm really just teasing. I know, but I'm just teasing. No, but it's like, I just feel like that could often be like a way into your pants kind of thing. And I'm glad that it wasn't in this instance. It's more like a hashtag Me Too type thing than a blow at your, track record. That's not what I meant at all. I just literally, I was like, good for that someone wants to help someone out of the kindness of their heart,
Right. No, it was very nice. So he helped me, and he's been my mentor. I've been licensed for 3 years. I can always call him, and I called him almost every day, probably in the beginning, because I had zero training, but people would hire me because I was a female.
Yeah.
So they would hire me, and then I would go to him like, okay, what do you think? What should I do? He would tell me what to do. I would do it. And I, now it's, I've been on my own. I haven't asked him for help in a long time.
I mean, I think you should always have someone to ask for help. So I think that's phenomenal. So, okay. Your website is pinkladyinvestigation.com, investigations.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
With an S. And I noticed you have several branches. I believe you're in California, Ohio, and South Dakota.
So I need to update it. I actually closed the Ohio office.
Fine.
I opened it during COVID, and then it was opened to do security mostly.
Okay.
And then the riots started all over the country, and security insurance tripled. And I was like, that there's no income from that.
Was Ohio like a big rioting area? This is probably my ignorance, and so I don't remember why, but it's not because I'm racist. It's just because I'm stupid, because it's so
no, yeah, there was a lot of riots there. So, and insurance in the entire country, it just went up so fast, and it wasn't even worth. So I kept the investigation side of it. I had a business partner out there. He did some stuff, but I never made money on it.
Okay.
And it was more of a headache than anything. Having 3 kids and running a California business. And I also assist another agency in California. So I have that on top of that, and then Ohio. And I was like, I'm done. Like, I can't do this.
But correct me if I'm wrong. You are in California.
Correct.
Okay, I'm sorry. And then I felt like, should I not ask that? But you were in California, and then the South Dakota felt random, but I'm assuming there's a reason for that.
So you don't actually have to be licensed in South Dakota. You just have to register.
Fantastic. Yeah.
So I just need to get work out there, and I need to put it on TikTok or Facebook, whatever. I need South Dakota cases so I can keep my license.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, you don't have to be licensed. You just pay the tax board, and they're like, cool, come do work here.
No, that's fantastic. Oh, you also have to get COVID, but it's fine. I'm sure you're staying safe. And so you literally just wanted to help people. I'm going to sneeze, which
bless you.
Thank you. Oh, it was fantastic podcasting. And so so you do a lot of different things. If you watch my TikTok, please apologize because I froze And that's why I had my daughter in Canada in the picture. Because I was like, she arrests people. She doesn't arrest people. That's not what I'm trying to say. And then it took so much time. I was like, I'm posting it and apologizing later. But a lot of some of what you do is like evacuation notices, or
Eviction
any kind of
notices.
what
Eviction.
Oh my God. Serving people with papers.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Which I imagine are like divorce papers. I believe you mentioned that you once dressed up as a bunny rabbit.
Oh God, what was I? Oh, it was a unicorn.
A unicorn. I'm sorry. It's my fault. I should have known.
And that one time I was wearing I was wearing my bikini. Like I was just at the pool. And so I still had my bikini on. I had this like cover up thing over it. And I went to serve. And the lady opened the door wearing a bikini. And I was like, oh my God.
That's pretty funny. And then I
Because
know, yeah,
everyone's gonna open the door. Like, why is there some chick? Clearly, she's not here to serve me anything. She's wearing a bikini and a cover up.
first of all, we never open the door. If the doorbell rings, we all duck and cover. So like, like I don't know what it is, but like I homeschooled 2 kids like for 90% of last year, and if someone rings the doorbell, they're coming to kill us. Like, but yeah, and then the other thing I recently saw on your TikTok, which is really fantastic, is when you were talking about some guy who he accepted the eviction notice and then the papers, and then put it on his neighbor's stoop.
Oh my God, that poor lady, she called me so confused, and I was like, oh my God, he put it on. I was like, no, that's
I would literally have just like tossed it in the trash, because that's the kind of, we are not good at checking mail. We are not being evicted, but we could have gotten served anything. And we would just, my husband used to be a public defender, by the way, so I'm not being literal about this. Now he's a psychologist. I don't know which is worse. But like, like we're not good with that stuff. Like I feel like every time my husband opens the front door, there's a package, no matter what time of the day. But like, it was very funny, and it is very funny following you on TikTok and watching you do this. And like I said, it did inspire me to attempt a TikTok, which is probably not the right way to say it.
So I attempted TikTok. So you know what? I wish I did a fake flower delivery. You know what? I've got to find it in Ohio. I flew out there. They paid me to fly out there to serve this lady. So I did a fake flower delivery because the sheriff couldn't get a hold of her. No one could catch her. And because look, I am a female. So people,
absolutely.
It's totally non-threatening. So I was holding flowers. My business partner, he was in the car, and he was like, she was like, I can't accept this, because I was like, oh, these are for like Kim so-and-so. She's like, no, I'm not Kim. I'm blah, blah, blah. And I was like, boom. Thank you for telling me your name. But no, you know what? I have that. That was a really good one. I should probably find that in my phone, because everything I do is recorded, like all my serves.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
So I put the fake flower delivery, because I like totally played it up at first. I'm like, oh my God, I can't like just leave it here. Can you just take it? Like I do the dumb girl role way too much.
But nope. Fantastic.
It catches people off guard.
Yeah. Also, I'm not hitting on you, but you're an attractive woman, and I feel like I have to say these things. I'm not hitting on you, but you're an attractive woman, and like, but you have like this innocent looking face, and so no one would have guessed that you're scandalous background. Like we're living in 2021, and that's scandalous, whatever.
Right. I know there was another guy I served him Sunday morning, and like I dressed up, my hair was done and curled and makeup, and I was wearing a dress, and I went there, and he's like, oh, can I help you? Yes, you can. Yeah.
Right.
Like, what is this? And I was like, I don't know.
Have you ever been put in danger during one of these, or felt in danger?
I have zero fear, unfortunately.
Oh, that's why you keep dating these asshole alcoholics, but okay.
Oh my God, stop analyzing me.
I know, I'm sorry.
Or should I pay you for analyzing me? Maybe.
Definitely. You can pay me that $30 that you
I go on TikTok. So I mean, so I have zero fear, but I have a really strong instinct.
Yes.
And so basically I pull up, I kind of like feel it out. Do I feel okay? Does my gut, like, is it saying anything? There was one time I went to do a serve, and I went to go knock on the door, and I looked down, and there was a shell casing from a gun on the porch.
No,
And I was like,
hard no.
I was like, what the fuck?
Okay.
And so I knocked, oh my God. And so you didn't watch like far enough on my TikTok. I'm 90%
No, I
sure
only had 20 minutes.
Oh my God. So I think he was naked because we made eye contact and he wasn't wearing a shirt. And I just kind of like kept going lower and lower. And I was like, skin. Okay, I'm just going to make eye contact again because there was a lot of skin going on and I didn't want to see parts of him.
No.
Like that.
Although that might have helped had you had to testify in court. Do you ever have to testify in court or?
I haven't had, no, I had to testify one time about a background check I ran. Some lady was claiming that like I ran like a fake background check. So she subpoenaed me and I was like, yeah. And I told the judge, yeah, I'm a private investigator. I ran a background check on her and that's the ad that came up with because she was hiding out and she couldn't like, how did you find me? Kind of my job.
I had such a good question and it's gone now, but that's how my brain usually works. So no real danger. You go by your gut.
I mean, there was one time and so I own Pink Lady Investigations.
Yes.
And so I have my own business and I help out another agency about an hour and a half from here. And it's all criminal defense, which is my passion. I love it. I go into the worst neighborhoods. I knock on doors. I talk to people in the streets. Again, zero fear. But I went to this one neighborhood and I needed to go down an alleyway. And I went at 10 in the morning thinking all the criminals are still sleeping. They were up late partying, doing drugs, whatever they do, robbing people. I don't know. Like I would think
the same thing. Also, kidnappers are only in white vans, so I'm fine.
Oh my God, right?
Yeah.
So I was totally safe. So I pull up and there's these two, a male and a female. Clearly like that's their drug area. And I was like, oh, well, fuck. He's like, he came up to my car. He's like, can I help you? And I was like, I need to talk to, so-and-so in that house. He's like, what for? And at this point I was like, okay, this is going to go nowhere. Because he was like, you're making me nervous. Oof. I don't want to make a drug dealer with a gun.
No.
So I handed him my card and I go, look, I don't give a fuck if I talk to him or not. I get paid either way.
Nice. Okay.
And then he was like, okay, cool. And I left. And so I had to go back to that office, the other one I help with, because it's all men. I'm the only female and they all carry because they're all either law enforcement or former law enforcement. So I had to go in there and I was like, I need a guy to go with me.
I need a gun.
Like, I just wanted you to just come get in my car. Like,
yeah.
And I hated that I had to like go like ask a man for help. But like, I also didn't want to get killed and I'm not stupid. I know that it wasn't safe. So I had one of the dudes go with me who was carrying and, nothing happened. But that's the only time.
If you had a gun, like, I'm not advocating gun violence, but I'm just saying, like, the reality is we can look at it as a male female thing. I would have felt better with a man, but nonetheless, like, or we can look at it as like an unarmed thing,
Right. I mean, they were clearly armed. I mean, it was in a drug neighborhood. They were probably the ones running that block. I can respect that. Like, that's their thing. That's their career choice. I'm not going to mess with it.
Right. I mean, and it's just where they are and this is where you are and you're not willing to risk your life. You have children to raise.
Right. Yep.
What do your kids think of your TikTok infamy?
Oh my God. So one of my videos got 5 million views.
Oh.
And so when I want to be obnoxious, so like all of their friends, moms and dads, like watch my TikToks.
Nice.
And they'll be like, they are so annoyed by it. And I'll just be like, I'm TikTok famous now. And they're like, shut up, mom. Anytime I can annoy them, it is the best parenting win ever.
They
are highly annoyed by it.
Oh, yeah. 100% agree. And 100%. I'm lucky my kids don't listen to any of my podcasts because it would be a real downer on their part, but on my part, it's totally fine. But
I think what I do is super fun and super, like, I'll take them on serves with me. Like, if they're like not ones that have like bullets.
Sure.
If they're like, it's like a divorce one or like, some of the ones, if I just have to tape a notice to a door, they go with me. I think it's super cool, and they are so not impressed.
I want to go with you, but only if someone reacts like hostily.
There was one
Yeah.
there was one guy, they're like, the attorney sent me the eviction notice, and he was like, oh, FYI, he's violent.
I would go
Cool.
with you for that one. Like,
he wasn't you know what? He's the one that left the notice on his neighbor's door, actually, neighbor's porch.
oh, he's just a pussycat. He's not hostile,
He was, yeah, I mean, I think he was like shooting fireworks off of his front porch, and like, there's some laws against that.
But how bad was his aim? Let's be honest. Like, if you've got good aim, is that a crime? I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I know. It's funny, since I started like doing all these murder, like deep dives and rabbit holes, like I walked my daughter out to the bus stop. This was the end of last school year, and there's this car sitting outside, and I'm like, Lex, go back and get the license plate number. And she does, and it was actually easy to remember because it was like it was like close to my brother's initials, and then I don't remember what the last thing is, but she remembers it to this day. And then I've also managed to research all of my neighbors, and like the scary and bitchy couple in town with a daughter that's a bully. I'm pleased to report he does not have a concealed weapon permit. Like, I'm like, well, I don't believe he wasn't arrested, but he doesn't have a permit. So like, so there is some information I can get from these little sites, but I do love the reality that if you're looking to find someone, you have to pay a professional.
So can I explain that really quick? Because
Yeah.
I had to educate an attorney. He was like, hey, can you like go on Truth Finder? And I was all,
no,
I had never talked to this attorney before. He's a brand new client. And I was like, hold the fuck on. Because everyone is in this industry. It's great because I have a potty mouth. And I was like, can I educate you really
obviously
quick?
Yeah.
And so I was like, here's the deal. So private investigators, our databases run through the credit bureaus. So if you're an adult with anything in your name, boom, there you are, you're found. Homeless people are not so easy. Or couch, if they just sleep on their friends' couches, they're harder to find because they don't have anything in their name. So the like Truth Finder and People Locator, I don't even know all those. It's just public information they've collected that's floating around on the internet. They don't know if it's accurate. And so it's really dangerous when it comes to the criminal part, because even the database that I use, it is not 100% accurate, because there are some counties that are so small, they're not online. There was one in California. I called them and I'm like, hey, I just want to look up some arrest records, and like, we're not online yet. It's 2021. What?
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
So you like literally have to like call courthouses. You need to like go, online county by county. Sometimes you can't just trust one outlet for information.
Can I just say I'm a PI, because I feel sort of like vulnerable about the idea about just asking for records from a human rather than a computer.
So that's probably incredibly illegal to say you're a PI when you're
but
not.
I just hypothetically,
If you like allegedly were telling people you were a PI, I would probably stop.
I was not, but now that we're talking, the thought occurs to me. Is that so wrong? Maybe a little. No, I just like, everyone's like, no, go to the courthouse. And I was like, I don't have the balls to go to the courthouse. Also Corona, but regardless, that's my own, shit. But like, listen, in my county, Nassau County, New York, there's a tremendous amount of stuff online, unless you get before a certain year. And then Suffolk is a little more difficult. And then fortunately, if you look at newspapers, I find that to be really helpful also. So we recently covered a case where the son decapitates his mother and then kills himself by throwing himself in front of a train. And like, he he's dead, so he doesn't have an arrest record, but it still feels like something's missing. Were I to date a relative of his and do a family search, like I still feel like that information should be there, you know. I don't know, but it was like I looked for a criminal record and I was obviously interested in what came before this, but then I was also like, yeah, this isn't all inclusive, I don't think.
Right. And
is, you know.
all right. And you know, the reason I do criminal defense is because it's I'm legit like scared now.
Yes.
Because I see people, so I only take clients either that like, yeah, I beat up that person in a bar. Yeah, I got a DUI. I take clients like that and we try to mitigate the time instead of like, you know, the whole 4 years. It's like, let's go talk to your priest and, oh, you're amazing. Oh, you volunteer. Like, you're amazing. Let's try to get the, you know, the time lessened. I don't take ones where they're like, okay, so I do have a guy who is in for murder.
Okay.
But I in no way excusing his behavior. But if you're in a gang and someone pulls a gun on you, I mean, maybe he was just faster.
Yeah. No, agreed. It's almost a stand your ground type thing, but it's really a fight for your life, which I don't think real rule.
So like I don't take cases where like, oh, you molested a child. Here, let me help. Because I'm a mom first. I'm a mom of girls first.
Yeah. Right. And that's huge. And I love that, you know, we lead with being a mother and then the rest, you know, the career sort of follows,
Right.
which is how it should be, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's great what you do. I think it's amazing. Obviously I'm going to include all your contact information in your show notes, but tell our listeners where to find you. We already said on, TikTok, it is gone from my brain now. So
Lisa McSassy PI.
It's a great name, and you are pretty sassy.
I know, that's definitely.
Yeah, I like it. And then on Facebook, it's just Pink Lady Investigations, and on what's the other?
Instagram.
Oh, right. What is it on Instagram again?
It's still Pink Lady Investigations.
Oh my gosh. So why are you gonna give me a hard time? I'm just kidding. We're gonna put this all in the show notes. Yeah. Oh, wait, I have one more question for you. There's a very mysterious listing on which I think it's weird that on your website people can put things in their cart and check them out. Because like, how many people have more than one thing in that cart? Because like the options are like, you know.
I know. Never, you know, you know what people buy? People buy the background checks all the time. And then I sold one, the online dating,
which I think is fantastic. There's like where you can check out people you're online dating, but I want to know what happens with Checkmate because that sounds super exciting.
Oh my God. So that hasn't even come out yet. So basically it is probably immoral.
It involves a wig, doesn't it? Someone wears a wig.
So I have this female friend who is drop dead gorgeous and she was like, hey, how about if we add this to your business? So like, let's say you call me, you're like, hey, so my husband's going out to this restaurant, this bar. Can you see if he will pick up on a chick?
Yeah.
So the beautiful girl goes out there. And then we see it's bait.
It's totally bait. I think it's fascinating, especially because there's no details on the website. It's like, you're gonna have to call us so we can explain this to you.
Yes. So yeah. I know, like she like had a baby and like she owns like restaurants. So like she's kind of like, hold on, like not at the moment. But no, so we're working on this to where it will be fun when we can get that started.
God, well, can we record again after you have some more stories about that? Because no, it sounds very interesting. I also think it's complicated as to, it's also like, does the wife know what her husband, you know, is attracted to?
Well, I mean, I had a case like this and it was a man who was like, I want to know, can you have someone go out there? Can a man go out? And I ended up not taking him as a client because he sounded like a complete piece of shit.
Oh,
who
okay.
accuses his wife constantly of cheating, and she's probably like hiding from him because he is a piece of shit. Like she's
Yeah.
probably at like McDonald's eating a cheeseburger by herself to avoid him.
Yeah, and good for her. I mean,
Right?
I prefer
Yeah.
Burger King, but still. But yeah. Lisa, thank you so much. I've really enjoyed our chat, and I am excited to tell people what you do and to send, hopefully business your way, and to have people fuck over their spouses with the checkmate, but in a good way.
Right.
You're screening them. So I
Right.
appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been fun.
Thank you.